All right, we are live here at the MRPS at the Mississippi Recreation and Park Society. No, Association. At 2025 in Natchez, Mississippi, right on the bank of the Mississippi River, overlooking it. It's gorgeous. If you haven't been, I highly recommend you get an Airbnb in this place.
It's a quaint little town.
It is a great little city.
Great pedestrianism, yeah.
And I'm with a guest from New Orleans, Lauren Knight, fellow New Orleans, I think New Orleanian, and she is the owner of Pelican Playground.
Yes.
And so I wanted you to come tell us a little bit about your what and your why, and how did you get into this crazy world of parks and recreation?
Yeah, kind of a long story, but we'll make it shorter. So yeah, my name is Lauren. I own Pelican Playgrounds. So we design, sell, install outdoor recreation equipment, playgrounds, shade structures, turf. Basically, if it's outside, we do it. And my company covers all of Louisiana and Mississippi. So we love coming to MRPA. We usually sponsor the cornhole tournament. It's really fun. And so how did I get into this? I grew up in the industry. So my dad owns a company that does very similar thing. He's based out of Massachusetts, where I was born, and they cover the 6 states of New England. And so a lot of kids got to go to summer camp when they were growing up, and I got to go to playground job sites.
Oh, nice.
And, sometimes I would help out, and sometimes I would hang out. If it was on a daycare, I'd go in, hang out with the teachers and the kids. It was really fun. And we always had the best equipment in our backyard, and
I bet
all
you
my
had a
friends were
great
jealous.
backyard. You must have been like a ninja warrior.
Oh, yeah. I was a gymnast, so I was always doing backflips off the swing, and giving my parents a heart attack for sure. But, yeah, so I've always loved playgrounds, and I ended up starting this company. I was placed in New Orleans by Teach for America. So I was teaching special education, and just really passionate about that my entire life. I was a camp counselor and I was a one-on-one counselor for campers with special needs that needed someone shadowing them and enjoying camp with them. And so inclusive play has just always been a passion of mine. Oh.
Hold on. Having a technical glitch. There we go.
There we go.
We'll mute that real quick. I was like, somebody hopped in on our podcast. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, when the opportunity presented itself to start my own company in my home, I jumped at the opportunity. My main partner is Playworld, and that's who my family's worked with as a manufacturer for decades now. They're incredibly supportive. I love their product. They're really passionate also about designing for inclusive play spaces, whether it's for children with disabilities or family members with disabilities, or thinking about multi-generational play, which is where a lot of the industry is moving towards.
Can you define inclusiveness for those that aren't as familiar with all the terminology?
Yeah, so I would say that when I think of inclusive public parks or playgrounds or even school play spaces, it's really taking into factor, how do you make an outdoor space not only accessible to all, but comfortable to all, right? Providing different types of opportunities to engage in the outdoor space. Not everybody on a playground, not every kid is there to run and go crazy. Some might enjoy something like outdoor musical instruments and find a space to enjoy that. And some might enjoy some cozier play spaces, like maybe a spinner or something like that. And how do you create a holistic approach to play spaces and outdoor play spaces that really makes it fun, accessible, enjoyable, and safe for everybody?
Yeah. Now, what's y'all territory as far as where do y'all, is it just Mississippi, Louisiana?
Yeah, so right now we cover all of Mississippi and Louisiana. So from the tippity top all the way to the bottom. Our home office is based in New Orleans, obviously. And so I've got a few team members there. At MRPA with me is Alex, who is a former Parks and Rec director.
Nice.
and has worked in the industry for probably 15 years now. And I met him actually at MRPA several years ago. And it was very serendipitous because he was looking for something different at the same time that I was looking for somebody to, pioneer Mississippi with me. And it's just been great having him, and he's totally passionate about what he does, and it's just a really great fit. So he gets to still spend time with all of his industry friends and helping them with their park projects and meeting new people. So that's what's really fun. And then we just brought on Anna this year, who's based out of Hattiesburg. So she's here with us too, and her dad's been in the industry for a really long time too. So I find that Parks and Recreation, playgrounds, all of that, it's very much a family-oriented industry. People fall in love with it and they bring their kids into it and their family members. So I think that's really special about Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah. And maybe I'm sure you've seen this, but the churn rate is so tiny compared to other industries. It seems like once you get into Parks and Rec, I wonder what makes them stay. I mean, it does seem like a super fulfilling job.
Oh yeah.
In Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, whether you're, whether you're on my end of things or you're actually working in departments for municipalities, you just get really ingrained with the community. Whether it's really close or spread out. I love, like I said, I love coming to this show every year. You see familiar faces, you meet new people that have either moved to the area or are new to the industry. And it's really nice because you know that you're going to see those people for a long time and, build those relationships, learn about their families, learn about their cities and towns and where they grew up. And yeah, it is. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all that the churn rate's really low.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like everyone I meet in Parks and Rec has, either they've been there for 20, 30 years or they're replacing someone who's been here for 20 or 30 years. And they just get a ton of fulfillment out of it. It's certainly they're leaving a legacy. They're making a difference in their community, making a huge impact.
Yeah.
And creating all these common spaces for the community to just meet each other and kind of get outside and experience their city and some of the beautiful parts of their city.
Yeah. If you actually, a really interesting national playground study just came out by Studio Ludo. So you can look that up. And they studied parks all over the country and playgrounds, and they've pulled a ton of data about what makes playgrounds more appealing, what grows attendance. And one of the statistics that I found super interesting was, I think it was like 49% of playground users are actually over the age of 13. And I was in Florida just the other week for our annual Play World meeting, and there was a very cool playground built by Earthscape there. And we went after dinner one night. It was about 9:45 p.m. and it was loaded with teenagers, just having like good, wholesome, fun, like hanging out on the sculpted play pieces, taking photos of each other. And so often we don't think of that. So that's something that my team and I have really been talking about over the last year, is finding new equipment and partnering with different companies that are thinking about how to make outdoor spaces more inclusive for teens. So it's cool again to bring your siblings to the park, right? Or it's cool to be there with your family members when they're doing other things and you have your own space to enjoy with your friends.
My kids used to love when I would chase them on the playground. We would play tag, and when me and Sherry would get involved, we would just they loved it. They loved when we get like the uncles and the aunts all, and these playgrounds are pretty adult tough. I guess you could say. I've never had one collapse under us.
No, yeah. I mean, that's commercial playground equipment. Will last you a really long time if you take care of it.
What is the lifespan of most of the stuff that y'all touch?
Yeah, so I would say a lot of playgrounds will make it 15 years if you do preventative maintenance and take care of it. When we build new playgrounds, we offer a preventative maintenance program to the customers that we work with, because it's a huge investment. And the industry's come really far though, and so the quality of products that you'll find definitely are very different than they were 15, 20 years ago. So, it's one of those things where when you work with somebody, sometimes it's going to be the only time that you have the opportunity to work together and build something new, depending on the size of their school or the size of their, town or city. But if you make the choices right and good investment up front, it'll last a really long time.
What are some preventative maintenance tips?
Yeah, so I think one thing is definitely putting eyes on the playgrounds as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, loose hardware is something that's always going to happen. So as soon as you notice that, you know, a bolt is missing, getting it replaced right away is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so the panels don't get extra wear and tear because they're loose or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just going out there with a ratchet and a bit and just tightening it every once in a while was one of the biggest things and easiest things that you can do for preventative maintenance. And also just a lot of people don't think about this, but power washing playgrounds and the surfacing is a good way to keep it bright, not letting like mold or tree residue that might be overhead, you know, deteriorate the materials. So that's something that we encourage people to do too.
How often would you say that you want to, you know, be out there looking at a playground, like quarterly or monthly?
So
or
it really just depends on how many users you have.
yeah,
You know what I
makes
mean? So
sense.
if you're an elementary school that's got, you know, recess, 100 kids at a time, 5 periods a day, like, but you know, if it's a pocket park in a neighborhood and you've got
Mhm.
like, you know, a handful of families using it a day, you know, once a month should be fine. It
Mhm.
really is just dependent on, you know, the types of pieces that you have on your playground also, and yeah, how much use it's getting.
Now, what's the range as far as like a little neighborhood park all the way up to like the biggest thing I've ever installed?
Whew. So what was really cool about some of the money that came out of COVID, the
Mhm.
American Rescue Plan, there was a lot of funding that encouraged improving outdoor spaces. So we had a few contracts that were well over $1 million
Wow.
out of that funding, and it was a great opportunity for schools and cities to look at their outdoor spaces and say, okay, you know what, it's time to renovate. And Play World, like I said, our partners, they built with Kaboom, I think something like 160 playgrounds across the Gulf Coast after Katrina.
Wow.
And those are definitely at the end of their lifespan. So a lot of cities took the opportunity of that funding to replace those playgrounds at this point in time. So
all right. So how can well, actually, wait, I wanted you to say, what can you say about attending these associations that's so beneficial to you as a company, and then just to network? Like, let's give a pitch for MRPA.
For MRPA. Yeah. I think one of the things that's really cool is a lot of park and rec directors, you know, they really don't get a ton of opportunities to get in one place and really like share resources, share ideas. And this is an opportunity for them to do that.
Mhm.
And on the vendor side, again, it's like an opportunity. Maybe you're not reaching all the far areas of your state, you know, every 6 months or every few months. And so it's an opportunity to have everybody together and really just, you know, see the people that you know and meet new people and build relationships. And, you know, I think that one of the best resources that in this industry that you can find is like borrowing and stealing from each other. You know, imitation is the best form of flattery. And if somebody's doing something right and their parks department is really successful, you know, borrow those ideas and see if it'll work in your area. And I think that's one of the coolest things that comes out of these conferences is the opportunity for everybody to do that.
Yeah, and there really is a lot of collaboration, not just from city to city, but even from the vendors and stuff. A lot of them are working together. They're going in on similar projects. We're all sharing networks and stuff. And it really is a good group of people to work with.
Yeah,
I find.
absolutely.
And so if you can attend any of these associations, and if you happen to see the Daily Parks and Rec Show and you're a vendor or you're a director or anybody and you love to just please stop by, say hello, even if you don't want to, if you're camera shy and don't want to come on the show. You know, we're really just trying to share the message and highlight people like Laura and your company. It's a great industry to be in. If you're a vendor, it's a great career choice if you would like to go into Parks and Rec. And these state associations are such a good place to experience all of it. And high school kids and college kids are welcome as volunteers. And a lot of these systems are bringing them as volunteers with them as part of their little cohort that attend these. And so I love seeing the college kids and the high school kids.
Yeah, especially when they happen in like are hosted in college towns.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes they'll even let them attend some sessions, which is really cool. So
yeah,
if you're at a local college and you hear that the rec and park association is coming, you should definitely see if you can get
Yeah.
student pass to attend some sessions and learn something.
Yeah, we were at Auburn last 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Okay.
And that was the Alabama Parks and Rec Association was
cool.
there. And there were, I want to say 8 or 9 college students that were in Parks and Rec pursuing that degree in their program, which just started, by the way.
Oh, cool.
And we actually had some of them volunteer to help us get guest speakers
fun.
to come onto it.
That's
so
nice.
even
a great way for them to network too.
Yeah. So if you're in media or if you're in Parks and Rec, please reach out to us and we will plug you in. And I know just with the Daily Parks and Rec show, we can get you a free ticket into these because we're kind of like a press pass or media pass. So if you're a college kid and would like to attend one of these, see what it's all about, please reach out to us on X or any of the platforms that you see us, and we'll get you in. We'll be in Texas in a couple of weeks. And then now which associations do you attend?
So definitely LRPA and MRPA.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's lots of other ones that you can visit too. So like Mississippi has a really great municipal league conference on the coast every summer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really fun. And it's a great destination to visit.
Yeah.
That's in Biloxi every year. So we definitely attend that. And then also, there's architecture shows and stuff like that. So like this industry is really like far spreading. There's so many people that have their hands in public parks and recreation.
Yeah, it really is good. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for coming, stop by the show.
Nice to meet you, and excited to get lunch with you in New Orleans.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited to meet somebody from New Orleans because usually I'm just like, I'm from New Orleans and like, I want to visit. We'll
be here.
She lives like a couple blocks from me. So this is great.
It's always great to find new friends.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show and stay tuned. We'll have a lot more interviews. Lauren was the brave person to come on our first show. We'll probably have about 20 or 30 more. So tune in.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. As Craig LeBlanc from the Daily Parks and Recreation Show says, parks and recreation aren't just spaces, they're the soul of our communities. Across America, parks provide more than just a scenic escape. They're places where people connect, stay active, and create lasting memories. Parks promote physical health with trails, sports fields, and playgrounds while boosting mental well-being through the calming effects of nature. Recreation programs bring communities together, offering everything from fitness classes to cultural events. And as Craig often highlights, parks also play a key role in protecting the environment and driving local economies by attracting visitors and increasing property values. Whether it's a family picnic, a weekend hike, or simply enjoying the outdoors, parks and recreation are where life happens. Want to dive deeper into the stories behind America's parks? Tune in to the Daily Parks and Recreation Show with Craig LeBlanc for inspiring insights, tips, and updates about the spaces that bring us all together.